Hey everyone, how y'all doing today? If you don't know this about me, let me just tell you that I am the biggest music fan that there is. I feel, especially of classic Motown music. Um, I was actually born in '63, so Motown at the time was probably about 4 years old, entering the prime of its '60s music. But I did have a sister who was actually 13 when I was born and turned 14 that following January. And so she was actually a teenager at the time that this music was originally coming out. And I'm sure she listened to other music too, but this is when I think back, these songs are the ones that I seem to remember most. So that's kind of what I grew up on, and actually the very first 45 that I ever had was given to me by my sister, and it was actually the song Come See About Me by the Supremes. So of course, my first favorite group were the Supremes. Then I just kind of expanded off into the other Motown groups. And to this day, 60 years later, I'm still listening to classic Motown in addition to other stuff, but that's my first love. And so I have an extensive CD collection, even though, we're in the streaming world now. But, I came along in the time frame of albums and 45s and vinyl records and CDs. But anyway, I made it a mission of mine to collect as much classic Motown as I possibly can. And this is in addition to, just what everybody else has. Everybody else has heard about the Temptations' My Girl, or the Supremes' Come See About Me, or Smokey Robinson and the Miracles' Tears of a Clown, which I have all of that, but, there's tons and tons more of material other than what everybody knows. And so I made it my mission to try to collect as much as that as I possibly can. But one of the things I started to do was to collect what they call CD sets of different classic Motown albums. So the first one I'm going to show you isn't the first one that I actually received, but it's one of my favorites. And this one is called Meet the Supremes. And what this actually is a CD of the very first Supremes album. Now this album actually came out and was released originally in 1962. And there were no hits that anybody other than real Motown people, real Motown fans have heard of. This was before Where Did Our Love Go and Baby Love and Come See About Me and all of that. Actually, at the time, they were called the No-Hit Supremes because they actually released about 9 different singles before Where Did Our Love Go, which was their first hit and number 1. But anyway, this is called Meet the Supremes. It's actually a CD version of the very first Supremes album. And you really can't see it, but actually this is the original album, the songs from the original album, and then the same songs again, but these are the stereo versions. Because back in the day, Motown used to release 2 different versions of albums. They would release the mono version and the stereo. So this has both versions, the mono and the stereo. It also has a concert that was recorded somewhere at one of the clubs in Detroit, I would assume. And it also has songs that were recorded for this album, but were not released on this album at the time for whatever reason. And also there may be other versions or different takes of the same song. So like I said, this one is a 2 CD set, and it comes with this booklet. And this cover is actually another cover that was used for the same album, because what happened was the original album came out, there were no hits, and then they finally had a hit with Where Did Our Love Go and Baby Love and Come See About Me. So a second album with those hits was actually released, and then Motown decided to re-release the very first album. They just changed the cover. So it still said Meet the Supremes, but, you know, different cover. But actually, this little booklet basically just has information about the group, how they started and all that, and a lot of information and a timeline about different events that were going on at the time. And one thing I really like about these things, though, is that there's always a part where it has the song, the name of the song listed, the writer and producer of the song, when the songs were originally recorded, if they were originally intended for someone else, and all of that type of information. So, you know, this is really, for me, paradise, I guess, as far as just kind of immersing myself in classic Motown music. And for those who probably didn't know, which are probably a lot, there were actually, when the Supremes actually signed to Motown, there were actually 4 members. You got Diana Ross at the top, Mary Wilson right here in the middle, Florence Ballard over here, and this young lady, her name was Barbara Martin, and she actually replaced a lady named Betty Travis, who was the 4th member when the Supremes were actually called the Primettes before they came to Motown. But Betty, she actually recorded background on many of the songs that were on this original album, because there were 12 songs on the album, and I think she recorded backgrounds for probably like 6 to 7 of the songs before she actually left. She left and got married and had a baby and spent the rest of her time in Detroit. And she passed probably not too long before Mary Wilson passed. It was probably like 2021, something like that. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Talk to you again soon. Bye.